Great to have you back, Ryan Newman. It's great to have you back.
Thank you, Claire. It's fun to be back at my favorite racetrack. And I will say that the practice and qualifying session was less dynamic than I thought it was going to be. So like changes from the old car, the shifting and all that stuff, I felt like I adapted to all that stuff fairly quickly. But the track's still, like I said, my favorite. So that made it a lot easier.
What was it about this opportunity that was so intriguing?
It's easier to dance with a girl that knows how to dance.
What was it about this opportunity that was so intriguing that prompted you to come back?
Just the opportunity, really. I mean, ultimately, I'm week on, week off with my kids, and just the way the schedule worked out. My daughter's not racing. Obviously, there was a change in the driver lineup with the 51 car, and gave me the opportunity to come and do this. And I literally started this conversation, I think, prior to Martinsville. And it was by accident when I texted Tommy Baldwin to ask him about an opportunity to race a modified, and he asked me if I wanted to go to Martinsville, and I said, well, in a modified? He goes, no, in a Cup car. And it all worked out for us to put all this together and do this. So thanks to Jacob Companies and Biohaven and Raceway Racing to give us the opportunity to come, I say play, but ultimately I feel like we got a pretty competitive car that we just got to execute and see if we can move up from where we start.
How many races are you doing, and do you know which races?
One at a time.
What are your impressions of this car?
It drives pretty good. I mean, it's totally different with the steering and transmission, it's shifting and all that stuff. I mean, it's the first time I've ever shifted here at Darlington, so at least in a competitive lap. So the steering was probably the biggest change. The second biggest change was the way you drive the car and the fact that you don't really, or you can't afford to get it sideways. And I did a couple times just crossing seams and things like that, but felt like we had a good practice session and wanted to just get some laps under my belt, take some time, and really kind of impress myself, I would say, in my qualifying lap to pick up a second from what we practiced and know that we're still not, top 10 on the speed charts, but ultimately it was a good competitive lap.
What does a successful Sunday look like?
I'll let you know on Monday. No, I mean, realistically, I feel like today's been successful, and I feel like if we can just kind of progress from where we are today and our competitive level, then so Sunday will, hopefully take care of itself. I don't come here and expecting to win or lead the most laps or anything like that. I'm realistic in those thoughts, but ultimately, if we have the opportunity to just keep moving forward in the field and have good execution.
You spoke in November 2021 about the next-gen car and your concerns kind of about the safety aspects of it. Do you still feel that way? Do you feel more comfortable with it? Where are you at on that?
Well, I wouldn't be here if I didn't feel like I was putting myself at a significant risk. I mean, we're always at some kind of risk, but ultimately I think based off the last, whatever that is, 14, 18 months, proved myself right with some of the injuries and situations that we've had and talked about in the Cup Garage. And ultimately, I know NASCAR's doing their job to make the cars better, as they always have. And this has been an entirely new piece that I think has surprised them in some of the aspects that they thought weren't going to be an issue. So ultimately, I'm here because I feel comfortable, and if we do something else, it'll be at a comfortable place.
What's in your heart about being back? I joke about, we missed you. It is great to have you back. But what's in your heart about racing again? What does it do for you, and how excited are you?
So I've paid attention to everything in respect to the cars, the development, drivers' comments, safety, roll bars and, crashes and data and things like that. I mean, I've been in tune, so it's not like I've just been out on the farm and making hay, but ultimately I feel like that it's fun to be back, and it's fun to have the opportunity, and I look forward to tomorrow.
It seems like this place specifically kind of lends itself to driver ability and that really helping. So what is it? Does it give you more confidence in a car that maybe isn't as good week to week with your ability and your experience here?
Well, it's definitely nice to have the driver be more part of the equation, as long as you feel like you're a good driver. If you feel like you've got a good car and Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, whatever you want to call it, then that's more about the car. But I feel like we have a great combination to work towards progress, and that's where we're starting here. I mean, today is a starting point. I don't know where the ending point is, but we'll take it one step at a time.
You want to do more?
I told him when I did it, I said the only way I'm going to do this and continue to do this is if it's fun, and today was fun. So we'll see.
Ryan, you said this one came about by accident, but over the last couple of years, since you were last in a car, have you thought about still wanting to be a Cup driver before this?
I always said if the opportunity came and it was right, then I would do that. And obviously the Hendrick lineup and the Gibbs lineup and the Penske lineup and whatnot are fairly full and packed, and I don't see any changes there. And this is an opportunity, especially with this car that's equalized or somewhat equalized the field and the competition. So when you tell the guys that they have to put this nut, this washer, this bolt, this whatever, and have all these tolerances, then you're taking a lot of the team characterization out of performance, right? I mean, obviously when I left, Gibbs was stout. There was Hendrick was stout. I mean, there was obvious advantages per chassis that got grandfathered in, per who had the best nose and things like that. So I think it's a good opportunity for me to sample where the series is right now.
I heard about your daughter racing. You mentioned it now.